In the previous episode... Oh no. Mega Man 2 on the Game Boy is a game I played. Hey, everyone regrets something in their life, right? This is one of those instances where there simply is no deep analysis to be done. This game is just a sight to behold. Seriously, I think it might be one of the worst games I've ever played. But when you hear someone say, one of the worst games I've ever played, you probably think of some brutal, frustrating experience that causes the player to throw their controller out the window. No, don't worry, that's not what this one is. This is by far the easiest game in the entire Mega Man franchise that I've played, to such a ridiculous degree that it's hard to believe this is the follow-up to Dr. Wily's Revenge, which, if you remember from my review, was pretty difficult. And actually, the team that made that game is just gone. I thought it was pretty decent, so I'm not sure why they didn't make this one too. No, a completely different team was brought in this time, called Thinking Rabbit. From looking them up, they apparently developed the original Sokoban, which, hey, I haven't played it, but I love a lot of games that are based on it, like the modern classic Baba Is You. I guess they weren't used to making action platformers though, because this game is a strange combination of boring, frustrating, completely non-functional, and gut-bustingly hilarious. So before we get started, I have to tell you, play this game. No, seriously, you should. It's absolutely terrible, but not in a way where it's actively hostile to the player. It's only like 40 minutes long, and you might get a few laughs in along the way. I know I certainly did. This game is about as well designed as the blinds on my window. Yeah, I know, I really need to get some new blinds. The instant you start the game... okay. Yeah, this music is... not music. It's an assault on the eardrums. It's a shrill scream in agony coming from the Game Boy's speakers. It's so high-pitched that it literally hurts my ears. Look, my cat agrees. Never mind, she doesn't care that much. My argument has imploded. The general discussion is now complete. That's all this game has to offer. There's little else to do but go through the stages and talk about each of the unending number of issues as they show up. Okay, let's get started. Yep, this is certainly Metal Man as I remember. Aha! Bad game design, I found you. This is certainly going to be an experience. Next, we get these drills from the floor and ceiling, but some of my shots are literally just phasing right through them. Yeah, in this game, normal enemies have a few invincibility frames. It doesn't sound that bad, but it's just janky enough to be infuriating. Seriously, if you happen to shoot too fast, oops, enemies with thinner sprites stay invincible for just long enough for them to pass through unscathed. That is like a cardinal sin of game design for Mega Man if you ask me. You just don't do that. The drills here also have way too much health, meaning they take forever to kill. Oh yeah, and remember those crushers with spikes on the bottom from the original stage? Those are just hidden in the ceiling now, so you can't predict when they'll show up. Oh, also I died later in the level and I respawned right next to an enemy that hit me immediately? Thanks, game. Also by now, and I can't explain exactly what it is, but I can tell something's off about the controls. It just feels worse, and I don't know why. I'm not sure if watching the footage really shows off how bad it is, but trust me, it's there. Oh hey, at least you get to play through Mega Man 2 level design with the slide, which is actually really cool. But Mega Man, please get a move on. Oh my god, why is it so slow? How did this game make me dislike the slide of all things? The whole point of this move is mobility. Okay, finally we're at the boss. Wait, they messed up the camera panning during boss transitions? How do you even mess that up? And the boss sucks, who could have guessed? They took a simple boss and made it agonizingly slow. You seriously just jump up and down and shoot and you win. The bosses in this game are also so obviously programmed by a grand total of 2 if statements. If player jump, then jump and shoot. Else, shoot. Because of that, these bosses are so easy to cheese after you figure out the pattern. And all of the weaknesses are back to just being instant win buttons. Speaking of weaknesses, remember how broken the Metal Blade was? Well, it's just as broken here, but you keep moving forward while shooting instead of being locked in place, meaning it just feels awful to use. Well, that was already one of the worst Mega Man stages I've ever played. Can't wait for the rest. Next up is Woodman again. These bat enemies are the same thing as before, but the timer for them actually spawning is so long that you can just walk past them and they won't even try to attack you. I get it though, this game is boring enough that they probably fell asleep. Oh yeah, this is also where I realized how funny it looks when you get hit on a ladder. Somehow you just float in the same position while not even holding the ladder. Beautiful. And the ladders somehow just don't function properly either. Why is it so hard to grab them? Wait, oh god, these water physics are some of the worst I've ever seen. Please take these away, I'm used to Mega Man water levels actually being fun. At least this stage incorporates some elements from Needleman, that's pretty cool. I liked the level fusion in the last game, and even if it's not done well here, I still like the concept at least. Oh yeah, and remember those chicken enemies I didn't like because they get spanned throughout a whole section and just bounce the Metal Blade away? Well, now they just die to it in one hit, meaning the Metal Blade is even more broken now despite being less fun to use. In the original Mega Man 2, I already thought this was an issue that brought the game down a bit, but here it really is just putting the square peg in the square hole, and that's all you have to do for literally the whole runtime of the game. And then Woodman is... Yep, just as expected. I guess the developers thought the head ship things from the original Airman stage were the greatest things since sliced bread. Seriously, this stage just throws them all over the place, but they don't even function properly. If you walk past them then come back, they just stop attacking and let you hang out. Thanks, I guess? The eggs dropped by the birds drop so slowly that it literally looks like a joke. And hey, maybe this game is just the greatest comedy routine of all time. That's one conspiracy theory I'd subscribe to. I just damage boosted through this whole stage with no repercussions, even though the clouds block basically the entire stage from view. And because they thought the head ships were the coolest thing they ever saw, they even put one right before the boss door. It's just sitting there in the sky as a decoration. I don't know why, but that literally made me burst out laughing. Why was that so funny? I think this game is getting to my head. Please send help. And then Crash Man, wait, never mind, I mean Clash Man, is the last stage here. I seriously remember nothing that happened. I was in a daze playing through it. I didn't engage with any of the rooms, I just walked forward and won in like a minute or two. And then the boss was weirdly difficult, I actually had to use an E-Tank. Good thing this game gives you practically infinite lives and E-Tanks. Seriously, I didn't game over a single time while playing it and never even got close. But yeah, the air shooter is so bad that it barely even works against the boss. And, oh god, we're already on the Wily stages. That was quick. In-game, this was maybe 15 minutes or so. I talked about how I like my Mega Man stages fast-paced, but in these 15 minutes, basically nothing happened at all. So the game still somehow feels slow despite being the shortest game in the entire series. Truly an impressive feat of game design. Wily 1 starts off with this hilarious cutscene. What is even happening here? Wily just walks backwards and Mega Man gets dumped into a pit. And the stage is actually a really cool idea, probably the best thing about this game. You get 4 mini stages, each based on one of the Mega Man 3 levels and bosses. I actually love that. Too bad it's also really hard to care when the level design is maybe even more forgettable than the rest of the game. In Needleman's stage, nothing happens. You use the air shooter and he dies. The end. In Magnet Man's stage, I think the disappearing blocks were literally placed completely at random. The hardest one of these sections is the first one, then it becomes unbelievably simple. You use the Metal Blade and he dies. The end. In Hard Man's stage, there's this slide passage that has an extra life, so you go in to get it. And then the enemy guarding the passage just respawns because getting the extra life off-screens it, so then you're forced to take damage. The boss dies immediately to the magnet missile, and given how the bosses have gone so far, probably most other weapons too. In Top Man's stage, I forgot. I think it was bad though. The boss explodes to the hard knuckle. Why are the second set of stages significantly easier? I even got 5 extra lives just from enemy drops during this section. Like seriously, were the stages not already easy enough? And then you get this extra boss called Quint. I guess he's supposed to be evil Mega Man from the future or something, but when you actually fight him, he's just a worse version of Toadman. I didn't even know that was possible. And why is he on a jackhammer? Is the Wily Castle under repair or something? Also, can I just talk about how ugly this game is? Literally all of the enemy sprites look absolutely terrible in this section, especially the ones from Magnet Man. They all look like they came down with a horrible illness. Good thing Mega Man is here to put them out of their misery. What a hero. And then Wily 2 is themed after the persistence of memory. Wait, the persistence of memory? Why? Literally why? I guess it's supposed to show that time travel is happening or something, but why the famous painting by Salvador Dali? Anyway, this is the best level in the game, if only because the ladder section at the end feels like it was created by a human and not a random stage generator, or your 3-year-old sibling on Mario Maker. And then the final boss happens and, oh no, somebody shrunk Wily. This is one of the funniest final bosses I've ever seen. What is even going on here? Wily starts off in his Wily machine, then you beat him and he flies off slightly to the right where he has a conveniently placed scooter or something. Then you beat him again and he flies off slightly to the right again, where he has a conveniently placed dinosaur? Where even am I? And because of the way the sprites are drawn, either Wily and his machines are tiny little action figures, or Mega Man is absolutely massive. This is also the hardest boss in the game. I actually had to use 2 of my 8 E-tanks, oh no. And then you get a credit sequence that's almost as long as the game itself. No, I'm not kidding, it's like 20 minutes. So, my final thoughts on this game are, yes, that was indeed Mega Man 2 on the Game Boy. If I were to give it a rating, it would be Mega Man 2 on the Game Boy out of 10. Easily one of the worst games I've ever played, but hey, at least it's pretty funny. Like I said, this game is absolutely worth playing just to see how bad it is. It asks nothing of the player, and it feels like this game is going to explode at any moment from the stress of somebody actually playing it. It's also so easy that, you know, at least I wasn't annoyed playing it. You really should play this game. It's less than an hour and it will give you a new appreciation for the rest of the classic series. Yep, that's all I've got. Join me next time for my review of Mega Man 5, a real video game that actually exists, unlike this one. See you then, and thanks for watching.